When I was a kid, my dad used to take me fishing. I remember it vividly, getting up at the crack of dawn, going down to the riverbank, sitting in the freezing cold for 12 straight hours, having been told to leave my Game Boy at home, and ultimately catching little more than an old bike tyre and pneumonia. Yep, I hated it. Fishing games are good though. I've always enjoyed these. They're quite relaxing really. So hopefully this one will... Did that fella just glide across the ground? Oh no, it's going to be one of those reviews, isn't it? Is Go Fishing 3D a prime catch? I'm Glenn for SwitchUp. Let's find out. Okay, so you know the drill by now. Jokey intro aside, I will be giving this game every opportunity to shine, and as I said, I do like fishing games, so let's see what Go Fishing 3D has to offer. So as you can see, you are given the option to play as a man or a woman from the off. I decided to play as a man, being a man myself and all, and highlighted the man option. That's not a man, that's a woman. Have I pressed the wrong button? I'll go back. Okay, why can't I select the back option? It turns out that the one that's highlighted is not actually the one that you are trying to pick. You see the dull greyed out one? Yep, that's the one that you are currently selecting. This was quite confusing and took me a while to get my head round, and even once I had, there were times when you just cannot select some of the options in the menu. There was no obvious or discernible reason for this. Sometimes the computer just seemingly said no. Why was something that was so simple being made so complicated? We're not even into the game yet. Well, once you have selected a lake, with the training lake being the only one available to you to begin with, you are transported to that area. You move your character to the edge of the lake using the left stick, and choose where you would like to cast to by moving the cursor with the right stick. Once you are happy, press Y to cast off. The float animation on the left of the screen signifies when you have a bite by flashing red. At this moment, you are told to move the stick in an upwards motion to initiate reeling the fish in. Unfortunately though, this then cancels the next part of the tutorial, which left me desperately pressing buttons to try and reel my catch in. After a while, I worked out that pressing the R button will see you wind your reel in. I did lose a fish while trying to work this out though, although as you can see, the fish started to levitate atop the water, so it was clearly a magic fish anyway, and therefore it was not entirely fair. There is a power bar as you are reeling the fish in, and as you get towards the edge of it, it becomes red, indicating that there is too much tension on the line and that you are in danger of having your line break. Now, most fishing games that I play have the reeling in process dealt with by having you push into the movement of the fish, almost as if you're fighting back against the fish. You would then reel in at a fair speed, not too slow so that the line becomes slack, but not too fast so that the line snaps either. It's a battle of wills as you attempt to tire out your aquatic opponent before claiming victory. In Go Fishing 3D, you hold down the R button until the bar starts to fill, let go until the bar empties, and then hold the R button again. If that doesn't sound as completely redundant and mind-numbingly boring as it actually is, then please allow me to make it perfectly explicit. This action is completely redundant and mind-numbingly boring. Where's the thrill of the catch? Where's the man against beast element? I'll tell you where. It's in a different fishing game. You do have a fish finder to assist you, and by standing still in front of the river, it will detect any fish in the vicinity whilst also letting you know the approximate weight of each one. But again, it's not at all clear how the fish on the screen relate to the river, which makes it difficult to know where to aim your line. You will earn silver coins by leveling up your character, and you level up your character by catching a certain number of fish. These coins can then be used to purchase newer and more advanced equipment, or for purchasing a fishing license to a new lake, each of which contain different varieties of fish. The problem is you are given very little information on how what you are buying is better than what you currently have. In fairness, the rods will tell you the cast range, which of course increases with each better rod you buy, and the line will detail the length, or the length of the line and its diameter. Hooks also come in different sizes too, but in terms of all of the bait, the lures and the floats, no information is given at all. Which fish are lured by each one? Are they better for sunny or rainy days? Which combinations work well together? What's that? You wanted a bit of strategy in your fishing game? Behave yourself, will ya? Just press up when the float goes red and then tap the R button. That's more than enough for you, thank you very much. What kills this game is that there is no underwater view of your bait, meaning you just stare at a picture of a float, waiting for it to turn red. There is no tension, no build up as the fish's curiosity begins to get the better of it, no epic battle as you try and land this behemoth. The fun part has basically been missed out of the game completely. Add into this the incredibly clunky controls and menus that you need a university degree to navigate, and you have a recipe for disaster. Gameplay receives 6 out of 20, whilst the controls also receive 6 out of 20. Right from the title screen, it becomes abundantly clear what it is you are in for when it comes to the game's aesthetic. The male and female character models look awful, and they would have been better off just having a picture of a fish. At least that wouldn't have shown up the visual inadequacies as soon as the game booted up. The title of the game looks like one of those do-it-yourself tattoos you used to get in packs of chewing gum as a kid. You remember when after a couple of days, when it looked all faded and sad on the back of your hand? That's the look Go Fishing 3D goes for its font. That's what you want from your game after all, isn't it? The 3-day-old rub-on tattoo look. Things don't get much better after entering the next screen. I mentioned earlier how you could use the silver coins you earn to buy new equipment, and there are also some cosmetics that you can purchase for your character, such as this t-shirt. And if you think the picture quality is bad because I've zoomed in, nope, it's not that, that's just what it looks like in game. But it's when you get to the lakes themselves that it becomes apparent just how poorly animated this game is. Take a stroll along the riverbank before partaking in some fishing, and, as well as the fact that your character seems to levitate across the ground, after all walking is for losers I suppose, just watch as fluorescent green bushes suddenly pop into view, followed by trees, well at least the ones that aren't completely flat textures anyway. The character model is so poor that I'm honestly baffled as to why they even included a third person perspective. Now think of everything that you would imagine to be visually satisfying about fishing. Casting your line off and seeing it fly into the distance before splashing into the river. Well, that was anticlimactic, wasn't it? You do not see the fish take the bait, you are not front and centre of the action as you attempt to reel the fish in, you cannot see the fish leap up and out of the water's surface before plunging back down into the depths. You just watch a lifeless figure in front of you as they occasionally move backwards and forwards as a completely static and motionless fish bobs up and down in the water. You might as well be fishing for cardboard cutouts. The bike tyres I used to fish out of the River Lee in North London as a kid were more animated than this. Audio wise, you have two main sections. You have the 40-second looped jingle that plays during the menus, and you have the ambient sounds that play whilst fishing. For ambient sounds you have birds tweeting and the incessant quacking of ducks. It got so bad that I booted up NES Classic Duck Hunt straight after playing to take out all of my pent up aggression of having listened to 90 minutes of constant quacking. The visuals are nothing short of a travesty and they score 4 out of 20, whereas audio ranges from poor to practically non-existent. Unless of course you really like ducks, and it also scores 4 out of 20. Go Fishing 3D costs £13.49 or $14.99, and for this price you are getting a range of different lakes that can be unlocked and a number of different fish that can be caught. The long story short is that the quality of product on offer is in no way reflected in the price being asked. This is just about the laziest game I have played in some time in terms of the standard of gameplay and the quite frankly shocking visuals. By searching the keyword fishing on the eShop, I found a total of 7 fishing games available, 2 of which were cheaper than Go Fishing 3D, and whilst I cannot attest to the quality of these, they can't be much worse than this. I bought Legendary Fishing from Ubisoft, a vastly superior game, physically, for less than this game is going for on the eShop, and I cannot condone this influx of subpar games that are now littering the eShop and selling for ridiculous prices. Value gets a generous 3 out of 20. To conclude, Go Fishing 3D is the worst fishing game I've ever played. It's also the worst Switch game I've played too. And it might just be the emotion of the moment talking, having just wasted the last couple of hours of my life playing this, but it might, just might, be the worst game I've ever played, full stop. Those of you who watch this channel often know that I don't like to sensationalise, so for me to give such a score should really give you some indication of just how bad this game is. Go Fishing 3D receives a SwitchUp score of 23%. So there you have it. Don't say I never do anything for you. You asked for it, you got it. What I believe would be a record low score on SwitchUp of 23% for this game. Please do remember to leave a like if you like what you've just seen, or if you just pity me for having had to play it. A huge thank you to our ever-growing list of Patreons. We really do appreciate your support, and thank you to each and every one of you for watching our videos. Take it easy. Happy gaming. Now if you'll excuse me, I'm going to go and find a game that doesn't have fish, mermaids or anything to do with the sea in it. See you next time.